And so, welcome. The next lesson that we are going to work with is lesson 4 of the training material, which involves the inventory ranking of movement classes, ABC codes, and replenishment. I will start working on page 151 of the training guide. Okay, so the first thing that we have to do is to import and restore our snapshot called part 4. We did that yesterday, so we should be able to start working with the application on that specific snapshot. This snapshot has already settings and data and all the required information for these calculations to work properly. Okay, so let's start with a little bit of concepts. Inventory ranking is mostly used by companies that have an important volume of items, important volume of locations, warehouses, and so on. So they use these concepts, and these concepts are available on Acumatica to be set up and to be used in order to help our customers for a better control, a better information about how our inventory is working, how we can classify our items depending of how they move or how they are sold or requested by their customers. We can classify by ABC codes. Okay. Basically, we have two main concepts. One is the movement classes, and the other one is ABC codes. And we can use these ranking methods to do physical inventory based on those. And we can demand forecast and replenishment planning based on these methods. So basically, what we are going to do now is to set up these methods on the application, create an example, and try to explain the formula that is used by the application um, to send the results of the calculation. Okay, so first we are going to for the movement classes we are going to learn how to define the movement classes with the movement classes form or screen. We are going to update these movement classes manually on the stock items screen or also on the item warehouse details form. And also we can mass process the update of this movement class. In case there are too many items to do it manually, we can do a mass process to update this information on our settings. Okay, so before going into that formula, let's go to the application and let's log in to our snapshot. Let's set the business day to, let's see, 05/01/2016. Okay, so now all we have to do is to create movement classes. For that, all we have to do is to go to distribution, inventory, settings, and open the movement classes form. Okay, so on this example, we are going to create a movement class ID L, which means it's a low turnover rates. Counts per year is 1, and 25% of maximum turnover. Then we are going to talk about class ID A, which is an average turnover rates. And we are going to count these items 3 times per year. And the maximum turnover for this is 60%. And the other one is high, and the high turnover rates. And these items, we are going to count them 6 counts per year. And the maximum turnover is 10,000%. Okay, so basically what we are defining here is a classification for our items based on how often they are they have movement on our warehouse. For example, a low turnover rate is an item that we sell not that often during the year. So we will have, like, let's say we have a company that sells computers. So we have a leather case that is a messenger type that is not that um, popular. So we will have a low turnover for this kind of item on the warehouse. So we will classify this item as L. So why is that? Because most of the time we will have inventory ready, and during the year we will, let's say, sell it for, I don't know, 2-3 times per year. So this is not going to be hard, or how you say, it's not an item that is requested a lot during the year from our customers. And on the other hand, we have the high turnover rate that maybe we can call this basically our laptop that we've been working, is the laptop that we've been selling and buying and moving all around, and this has a high turnover rate. So this is what this means, and this is how we classify. Okay, and now we can, based on these settings, define how we are going to create our physical inventory based on these movements. Okay, so for that we can create a physical inventory type, and this is basically saying that we are going to create a physical inventory based on how the items are moved, or how are they classified by movement. So on this case, we are going to create this type called movement, and we are going to set it as movement class. Okay, and we will see the differences now. We set up the class ID, and this is going to be high. And on the warehouse location, we are going to select main, and we save it. We are going to create another one that is called move class. This one is also by movement class, and this is going to be selected by frequency. And we will create an example and see what does this mean. We save the movement class. Okay, so now we have two new physical inventory types, move class, which is basically we are going to take a look at the frequency of the items, and the movement is that we are going to take a look of the hive movement class. Okay, so now let's set our stock items with these settings. So we go to stock items screen and we select our headset, and we're going to set the movement class for this headset is average, and it's a fixed movement class. Okay, so on this example we manually updated the movement class for our stock item. Now we can do that using the update movement class form. So we select the warehouse that we are going to use. The year is 2016 and the period number is 5. Okay, so when we change that based on the information that we already have on the snapshot, it review the movement percentage of our items and is suggesting or is projecting the different movement class for every item. Okay, so this is what it's doing. And on the first one, it's already there. We already do it manually, so we don't. It will be not included. So all we have to do when we click process, it will update the information on all of our items with the projected movement class. So all we have to do is to go to process, and that will be it. Of course, we can filter and we can just update or select specific warehouses for that. Okay. Okay, so we're good there. And we are going to go to the warehouse details screen. And we're going to select the laptop that I was talking about a minute ago. And let's take a look that the movement class is already updated as we set up. Okay, so in order to know why or how, this is the formula on page 155 that is using in order to review the information and to project the movement class. So basically is the inventory turnover for an item for a period is the quantity sold for the period divided by the average on-hand quantity at the end of the period for all the periods from the beginning of the year. Okay, so that is why we have on this projected movement class these classes suggested by the application because of this formula. Okay, so if you were wondering why one is high and one is average, based on the settings that we selected, it calculated using this formula. Okay, we can see. And now we will just confirm how was this using the information that we already have. So for doing that, we are going to go to the inventory transactions summary, and we are going to see for period 205 and laptop 12, laptop 12, and we see that we sold 3 laptops. Okay, so the value is 12, and the historical valuation report, we are going to take a look at the value there. So summary from 01/2016 for the laptop, we can see that, give me a second. Okay, so the ending balance, this report will show the ending balance for this period. So we can see that we have 5 here, 5 here, and 13 for period 3, 4, 5. Okay, so if we take those values and divide it by 3 to get the average, we get an average of 7.67. Okay, which is on page 155. Okay, so based on the formula that I just displayed, we see that we have a result of 156% of the criteria, which we can see here. Let me show you. So we have a total sales of 12, which is quantity sold for the period. And then we have the ending balances for the previous period, which is, and well, of course, the average, which is this section. Okay, just this. So base 12 divided by 7.67, we get a 1.56, 156%. So based on the settings that we defined earlier, saying that the high class is maximum 10,000%, we got a 156, and that is why the system is suggesting or got the H class for this item. Okay, hope this clarifies the result. And this is how it is calculated when we go to the update movement class screen. Okay. Okay, so now what we want to do is to, once we have all this set up, our items are updated and everything is clear on why, now all we have to do is to create a physical inventory based by this movement class. Okay, so we have first to set up the business day to 03/31/2016. Okay, and now we are going to go to prepare physical count. We are going to select the movement type, okay, which is for the high turnover rates. Okay, we can see that we have our 3 items with that class ID. Okay, keyboard, laptop, and mouse. Let me get this column wider, and we are going to generate the physical inventory. Okay, all we have to do now is to update the physical quantity. Let's do the same. Oh, sorry. 13 and 50. We save and we finish. Now we complete the physical inventory. Okay, now on the prepare physical count form, we select the move class, and we can see that we have the headset and the laptop. Okay, there are no items with L, there are no items with high, because the physical count was already done. And so, okay, so we're good. Okay, so what we have here is that since we already done a physical inventory on the on March for the items with high movement class, we are not getting any of the high movement class items. So what are we going to do now is, and because that we set this kind of items were going to be counted twice a year. So all we have to do now is to change to June 30, and the missing items will automatically display in order to be included on the physical inventory. Okay, hope that makes sense. It is clear. Okay, so let's move forward. So basically what we just did was to create a physical inventory based on our movement class, how the movement class was classified, and how the physical inventory will take out, check on our settings for the dates, the business date against our number of counts set, and will display the items that should be included on the physical count. Okay, let's go back to our presentation, which is here. Okay, inventory turnover, we just verified, and it's warehouse specific. Okay, so on lesson 15, there is another way to classify our ABC, our items, and it's called ABC codes, which is basically instead of taking or classifying our items based on, excuse me, how they sell or how they move throughout the year, now we are going to classify based on the valuable of the value of our items. This is just an example. This is a standard or general definition of the classification, but I think it helps to make it clear or why the ABC codes and how they are used on the real world on a warehouse. So on this case, we have code A for the most valuable item, and code C will be the least valuable. So basically on our company, we have the computers, the laptops as A, and our mice, headset, or accessories are going to be classified as C type items. Okay, so in this lesson, we are going to learn how to define ABC codes on our ABC codes form screen. And we also will update manually our ABC codes using the stock items screen or the item warehouse details screen. And we also, as we already did with the movement classes, we are going to mass update our items in case we have um, interesting number of items. We are going to, we can use a mass process to update that. Okay. Before going there, let's go back to the application and let's set up our ABC codes. So we go to configuration, ABC codes screen, and let's set it as A, and description will be also A. Let's make it cap, and we are going to count these kind of items 6 times per year, and the ABC code is going to be set as 80. B, description B, counts per year 3, and we have a ABC code percentage of 50. C, description C, and twice a year, and this is just 5%. Okay, as our previous example, we are going to create a scenario and clarify all these values. Now let's take a look at our physical inventory types. Let's create one that is called ABCA, and this physical inventory is going to be used for items with the A code, and we are going to set it by ABC code, and we are going to select ABC code A for our warehouse main. Okay, of course, if you need to specify a location, you can do that, and or you can add different other values. Let's create the other one that is called ABC code, and our description will be ABC code, and we're going to set it by ABC code, and this one will be by frequency. Let's set up for our warehouse main. Save. And okay, once this is done, we can go manually to our item. So we select our item headset, and we're going to set ABC code B for this headset, and it's going to be fixed. Going to save, and we manually added just one item. Okay, so let's go back. Go to process, update ABC code, and we'll select the warehouse, and let's select the period, which is 05. Okay, so similar to our previous lesson, we can see the projected ABC code. On this case, we already have set manually the ABC code, and it is fixed, and how the formula is calculated in order to suggest the corresponding ABC code for the item. Okay, so this is the result. The formula is this. Let me show you. Okay, this one will be easier to have both on the same screen. So as you can see, we have the criteria value equals the item cost of the value at the end of the period, and the radio percentage is the item stock value divided of the total stock value of the item. Okay, and we have the result, and based on that, the system will suggest the projected ABC code. Okay, uh, let me fix my screen. Okay, so again, let's take a look at to the actual values, so we can see the real numbers or where this is based from. And we are going to the historical inventory valuation report, and we're going to select for period 05, and let's select summary and report. Okay, so if we can see, the end cost of the laptop 12 is 12,610. Okay, and the ending value is 24,000. So based on our formulas, the result is 52.48%, which you can see on, let me see if we can, okay, here it is, 52.48 rounded to two decimals. Okay, so that is where it coming from for this item. Okay, so let me take a look. Okay, so we're good there. Let's go to the next step. Is basically we are going to create a physical inventory for our based on our ABC codes. So the first thing that we have to do is to change the date again to March. And we are going to go to prepare physical count. We're going to select ABC A. ABC A, yes. For our type ID, A. What am I missing? I know what I missed. We didn't update our ABC codes. So I explained how is this calculated, and we have to process it to update it. So now we can go back, and now we have the laptop. Okay, so we generate, and we can see our physical inventory. We say that we actually do have the same quantity, and we can just complete the physical inventory. Okay, now again, let's go to prepare physical count and select the ABC code. And again, the laptop is not displayed because of the number of counts set up our physical inventory type. We change the date again to June 30, and again, and now the items are displayed. Okay, and that will be it. So to do a recap, we were able to set up our movement. Let me go back here. Okay, before going into the replenishment calculation, we were able to create our movement and ABC codes and ABC codes classes and verify the formula used in order to the system to suggest or project the the correspondent ABC code or movement class, depending on how the item was performing during the previous periods. Okay, so it's time for a poll question. Let me launch it and let's take a look how that goes. Thank you, everyone. I will close the question now. Okay, so the question was, this report displays information about how the balances of the inventory have changed in the selected time interval. The correct answer was historical inventory valuation. That report is the one that I was using in order to get the values that were used by our formulas. Okay. Okay. So last lesson, replenishment calculation. Um, On this lesson, we are going to learn how to configure the automated replenishment functionality of the application. We are going to specify the parameters of replenishment methods. We are going to automate the calculation of replenishment parameters based on the demand forecast. Okay, so again, this is quite um, basic on how this works and the formula that is using, where are they come from, where is the value come from, and so on. So try to uh, don't, let's try to follow up on where this all these data coming from to send the result that we are going to see on the screen. Okay, so the first thing that we have to do is to configure. Let me show you also. No, let's not jump into the formula yet. Let's go to the application and let's create our replenishment information. So on the replenishment classes, we are going to create one that is called purchase. And the source is purchase. The other one is transfer, and transfer. And we save. Okay, so basically we are just creating a type of class. Okay, um, the difference of the source is that when some items when we need to replenish or to get more into our warehouse, we are going to either purchase them from our vendors, or also we can transfer those items from another warehouse, like on the company that we've been working. In case we need to uh, replenish the northern store warehouse, we just create, or the system will suggest to replenish from our distribution center. So that would be an example of the difference between these replenishment sources. Okay, now we are going to create a seasonality ID, which is basically none. This can be used in case, for example, back to school season. So on this kind of season, we are going to need a pretty high volume of items. So we need to be sure that we have enough quantity for our season demand. Okay. In this case, we are just creating one that is called none, which is the regular, or is no difference. Okay, and we are going to create one more that is called summer. So on summer vacation, there are a lot of uh, movement for our items, so we want to be sure that we have enough to cover this season. Okay, so in this case, the season starts on July 2016 and ends on July 31st, 2016. Factor 0.9, and on this case it says August 1st, 2016 and August 1st, 2016. We have a factor of 0.8. We will get into that detail. And we save. Okay. So now let's set up our warehouse. So we select our warehouse main. Here you are. And we are going to set it, where is it? Where is the replenishment class? Oh, okay. Purchase for main. Save. And for retail, we are going to set as transfer. Okay, so basically what we are doing here is that for our retail stores, we just want to replenish from our center or distribution center, and our distribution center, which is the main warehouse, we need to replenish from our vendors. So in order to do that, we have to create purchase orders to our vendors. Okay, now let's go to the item classes and let's set up for the class ID laptop. We are going to set the item class settings, the replenishment settings form. Replenishment class ID for the purchase, none, and the method will be min-max, and for transfer, we are going to select none and transfer. Okay, min-max, and the replenishment warehouse is going to be main. Okay. So for this item, we're going to work with the retail stores, or we are going to transfer from our main warehouse. If we're going to on the distribution center, we will create the source from our vendors, the purchase. Okay, now let's set up our stock item. And let's set up for the headset. Where is it? The replenishment. Paste, and we are going to set it as purchase. And we are going to set the reorder point as 20. And the maximum quantity will be 100. Okay, replenishment class is done. Okay, we can save that now. And on the vendor details tab, we are going to select vendor 5, and we are going to set the slot size as 12. We will get into those details and how they are used. Now let's go to our headset item. Okay, and I think this is where there is a typo on the training guide, because we were working on the headset and we are on page 165. Okay, so we on number 7, the training guide is saying that we have to adjust the vendor detail to 75. Okay, no, okay, we're good. Okay, so vendor details tab and the replenishment. Okay, so now we have to do is to update the item warehouse details for the headset and for the retail warehouse. So for this item and this warehouse, we are going to override the information from the stock item. So we are going to use transfer. We are going to use min-max. Replenishment source is transfer. And the method is going to be minimum maximum. And the warehouse is main. The reorder point is going to be 15. And the maximum quantity is going to be 80. Okay, so we save and let's go back to our keyboard and we change the replenishment class to purchase. We override the replenishment settings here and the source that we are going to use is going to be purchase. The method is going to be fixed reorder quantity. The reorder point is 30 and the transfer key Q is 75. Save. Okay, so all this information is coming from our customers. They have to review the items, they have to check on all these parameters, and they have to confirm to us that this is what they need to use when they want to calculate the replenishment for them. So on this example, we are just created we are just creating the default values and that we are going to use on the calculation of the replenishment. Okay, I had Jan is asking about the EOQ definition. I googled it. I don't remember on the top of my head. Is something that is for our vendors. That is from our vendor information. If we can just let's see. EOQ. I think I had that economic order quantity. Yeah. It's the optimum quantity of goods to be purchased at one time in order to minimize the annual total cost of ordering, carrying of items inventory. Okay, I hope this helps. This helped me. Okay, let's go back. You're welcome. And let's go to prepare the replenishment. So the first thing that we have to do is to create a sales order. Okay, this information, or basically the information that is on our existing purchase orders, existing sales orders, existing items on our warehouses, everything is taken in consideration to calculate the replenishment. Okay, so on this example, we are going to create a new sales order for our customer 1, and we are going to say that we need to create a headset. Hold on, let's do something. Let's create a new question before going into this process. Okay, so let me select the question, and we have 2 minutes to get on this one. Okay, please help answering your poll question. Okay, I will close the question now. It was an interesting result we have on this question. Let me clarify that for you. On the update ABC codes form, what will happen with the items with the selected fixed checkbox when you update ABC codes? The correct answer will be is ABC codes won't be updated for these items. Okay, I'm not sure if this was clear, but when we set up a fixed setting, it means that it cannot be changed. So that is why we set it as fixed. I don't know, or maybe I just don't care how many times the item was sold during this year, or I don't want this for example, this item is very valuable for the company, so I don't want to be updated. I want it to be classified as A, even though the cost is not that high, and I don't want it to be updated by the application when calculating. So when we checked the fixed checkbox, is because we don't want the parameter to be changed by the mass update screen process. Okay, so hope that clarifies for all the people that selected the ABC codes will be updated for the items. Okay. Okay, so let's go back and let's start with our preparing replenishment. I am on page 166 and we are going to start step 16.2 of the training material. So the first thing that we have to do is create a sales order. We set up the date as 6 June 30, selected the customer one, and we are going to create a sales order for 75 of headsets. We are going to add a keyboard with 80, and we are going to reward this leather case for 20. Okay, and we take it off the hold and save the sales order. Okay, so now what we have to do is to go to the prepare replenishment screen. Select the retail. Let's go to the detail first. Let's take it off the me option and only selected suggested items. Okay, so if everything goes right, the system is calculating a quantity to process of 80. Okay, and this is how it is calculated. Let me show you this one, going to be easier to see like this. Okay. So the target quantity is 80 plus less 0, which is the maximum quantity of the item is 80, less the quantity on hand, which we don't have any, less the quantity on supply, again we don't have, plus the quantity on demand, we don't have any. So the result for the target quantity or the quantity to process is 80, which we do have over here. Okay, so let me get my training guide back here. Okay, select the line and we are going to click on process. Okay, let's click escape here and let's remove the only suggested items. Okay, quantity replanned, it's 80 because it updated from our previous step that we had 80 on the quantity to process. We processed it and the quantity replanned is now 80 because it's pending to process our transfer. Okay. Now we go to sales order, create transfer orders, and we will find that since this item is set up to replenish method with transfer, now we need to create the actual transfer from the distribution center to our retail, from the main, in this case, to the retail warehouse. Okay, so next thing that we have to do is going to iron replenishment. And if you remember when we were working on the purchase orders, PO, mark for PO purchase orders and mark for, oh no, not the create transfer order. When we were working with the sales order that created transfer order, the plan type was different. So in this case, we can see that the source of this is the inventory replenishment process. So you will see different plan types on this screen, depending on what process created this line. Okay. Now we go here, we process, and we can see that there is a sales order type transfer that was created just uh, just for this calculation. Okay. Now let's go to the next step, and let's go back to our prepare replenishment screen, and let's go to our warehouse retail. This one is clear, and we're going to only suggested items is selected. Okay, and this is no. Okay, this is where the typo was. I knew that there was somewhere. Okay, on page 167, on step number 3, we can see that the instruction is on the prepare replenishment form, prepare replenishment for the main warehouse. But the warehouse set to select is retail, so this is incorrect. So please take in consideration that is not retail, it's main that we want to create. And also there and also the EOQ that we updated previously on the other let me find the page so I can show you. There was a setting that was asking to update the item to the vendor EOQ to 75, and that was another typo because it was set to update the headset, and we have to update it also to for the keyboard. So all we have to do is go back and go to the stock items and select the keyboard, and we go to replenishment info, no, vendor details, and for the vendor detail we select our vendor 5, and here we have to update the value to 75 as well. Okay. Now let's take a look at the prepare replenishment screen, and oh, let me see something very keyboard main replenishment info. Here it is. This is purchase, and this is going to be okay, give me a second. 75. Okay. Go to paying. There you go. But our values to process is 70. This is correct, and this one is not correct. And this is because the EOQ, let me change that back. Keyword. Remove this, and let's see how that works. For the main, No. And there is something wrong on this calculation because of the settings. Okay, let's focus first on the headset and we will check on that later. We have the 192, which is calculated by, let me show you here, and we have 192, which is the result on the quantity to process, and it is based on the target quantity of 100. Let's see where this 100 target quantity is the maximum quantity of the item. We have 64, which 64 means our quantity on hand, less 0, which is the quantity on supply, and 155. Where is it? Oh, I lost the formula. This is 155, which is, where is it? Oh, here it is. Quantity on demand. Okay. So there is an interesting thing. We have, as a result, a 191, and the system is saying that we need to replenish 192 items. And this is because we set up that the lot size of the vendor equals 12. So the target quantity is rounded up to 192 in order to be able to create a purchase order for the vendor based on this or on this setting and how the vendor wants the items to be created on the purchase order. Okay, so let's go back there, and on the keyboard is 75, which we have 10, and let's try to find out how. Okay, so the fixed reorder quantity replenishment method is used for the keyboard at the main warehouse. So maybe I missed that. So the target quantity is a EOQ, which is specified for, that's where the 75, or maybe I just didn't check out. Okay, let's try to fix that. Let's go back to our keyboard. Let's set up our vendor details, which was missing. Let's set the vendor 5. Let's set the EOQ, which is 75. Okay, we save and close. And for the replenishment keyboard, no, let's use the item warehouse details keyboard for this, and where is the fixed class? Sorry about that, I lost it. Okay, let me go back. Okay. This is purchase. No. Here you are. Fix. Okay. So it's supposed to be corrected. There you go. Okay. So what I missed was to set up the fixed reorder. Uh, where is it? Fixed reorder quantity replenishment method for the keyboard at the main warehouse. That is what I missed. Okay, so basically once that is done, our target quantity is the EOQ of the vendor. Okay, so now we can go ahead and select both of them, and we can continue. Let me take this out of the way. Click process. 192, 175, and let's update. Let's remove the suggested. And as our previous example, we have the quantity replanned 192, 175. And on the create purchase orders screen, we can find this new replenishment requirement of purchase orders. Okay, this is by item, and we can just process all. So I clicked it twice. Okay, so that will be it. So on this case, let's do a recap. Sorry about the missing parameter, but basically we were able first to set up all the corresponding parameters for our items in order for the system to use them and to calculate the replenishment information. Once we did that, for one example, it was to create a transfer order from uh, our from our distribution center warehouse, and in order to fulfill the requirements for our retail, we created a transfer order. And for our items that are located on the distribution center, these items had to be replenished by a purchase order for our vendor number 5. So on this case, as you can see, at the end of the example, all we had was a purchase order for 192 and 75. Of course, this can be updated as needed if you don't want to uh, create a purchase order for all of them. You can create, modify, or whatever you want to do with the purchase order. Same for the transfer order. Okay. Okay. So let's continue with the next step. And before that, let's do the last question of the day. Mm, let's open. Let's talk about this formula. I will launch the question, and please answer that. Okay, thank you everybody that responded the question. I will close the poll question now. Okay, so let's go to the correct answer. So the maximum quantity less the quantity on hand less the quantity on supply plus the quantity on demand is the calculation of the target quantity. So just to confirm, this is the formula that we were using. That is uh, that will provide the quantity to process on our prepare replenishment screen. Okay, so let's move forward to page 169. Um, on this case, we want to, let me go back here. Okay, we check that out. Okay, and okay, so the demand forecast. The demand forecast is mostly used for items that how to explain this? That we need to replenishment on kind of a fixed like it's not that variable and uh, we don't have different or specific parameters like we just did. I think it's trying to understand or trying to help our warehouses to plan ahead. So this is basically based on what happened and how this works. We are going to suggest to replenish. Okay, so I hope that helps or don't confuse even more. We have different formulas for this. Let me show you the guide. Okay, so our reorder point is going to be calculated with the average daily demand plus the average lead time plus no, by the average lead time plus the safety stock. The safety stock has this formula. The maximum quantity equals the reorder point. Okay, the daily demand forecast is the average daily demand, and so on. So, okay, so basically, let's create an example for this so we can take a look on how this is working. Okay, let's go back to page 170 and let's set up the calculating parameters. Let me go back here. Okay, so let's go to our stock item. Stock item. Let's modify the headset. Okay. And then the replenishment info. Let's modify the demand forecast model to moving average. The forecast period type will be month. The period to analyze is going to be 3. And the service level is going to be 84%. Okay, let's save that. And if you see on the table that is on page 170, we can see that on, let me show you the report, inventory valuation report for the item headset. No, will be a good idea to have the detail. Okay, so we sold one item on February 29. We received 100 items on March 20, 80 items sold on March 31st. Okay, so based on the formulas that I just displayed, the results of every replenishment parameter, you can see those on page 170. The average daily demand will be 2.33. The daily demand is 0.28, and so on. Okay, so the important thing here is to try to play with this information and the values that it has, and try to calculate manually every formula on page 169, which we are going to do. And then once we get all these values ready, now we can just go ahead and create the replenishment process forecast. So let's change the date to June 1st for our example. Okay, let me just show you here just to be sure that we are on the same page. Okay, based on our valuation report, we have this information, and based on these formulas, every parameter has this value. Okay, so now we are going to see how these values are used on the replenishment form. Okay, so let's go to calculate replenishment parameters. We're going to select the date is June 1st, calculate, and we're going to do that for our warehouse main. Okay, we have just one line with our item headset. We select and we process. Now we go to the apply replenishment parameters, and we can see on our warehouse main, okay. So on this screen we can see how the previous values were calculated, and let me see if I can do a better way to show the screen, which I can't. No, I can't. Okay, so let's review column by column. Okay, so we can see that the safety stock suggested is 2.45, which is here. The reorder point is 20.38. The maximum quantity suggested is 20.38. 2.34 for the daily demand, 0.28 for the forecast error, 7.67, and the last one, 0.47. Okay, so this is the end result of the formulas applied based on the information that already has the application. Okay, so we select it and we click process. And now on the replenishment info tab of the item warehouse details screen, we can see that our headset for the main warehouse was updated with the information that we just reviewed. We have the safety stock, the reorder point, everything that was calculated is updated on our item warehouse detail. Okay, so this will be it. This is just an example. I would suggest to try to create a new item and create some receipts, create some sales on different periods, and try to replicate this exercise on your local, so you can confirm how this is used, this is calculated, and uh, know better on the calculation, the replenishment screen process. Okay. Okay. So we finished with the training. Let me go back to the presentation. Please help us out. Let us know what is that you can share with us on how to make us better on this training. What would you want, or what would you like to include, or what would you like to change, to update? I hope I helped in some way to clarify this online training. So please let us know how we can do better. Please complete the SurveyMonkey the survey on the www.surveymonkey.com/r/online sessions 2017. My name is Luis Pingarron. I am part of the support area, and my email is on the screen. Please, whatever you need, or if you have further questions about the training, just send me an email, and I will gladly try to clarify or try to help. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody, for your time. I will be here for 10-15 more minutes. If you want to ask something, just let me know. Thank you.